This sequence is for the Tridosha. Coming down to your back. If you want something for underneath your head, maybe a blanket or a towel. Bringing the knees into the chest. Giving yourself a hug. And we're going to start the practice with Ujjayi breath. Ujjayi breath is done through the nose. The mouth stays closed. And there's a very soft narrowing of the throat passage as you breathe in and out. The narrowing of the throat passage creates a sound. Some people say that it sounds like a wind-like sound or a whisper-like sound. And every time you inhale, allow your belly to expand. Maybe the thighs push away from you as your belly presses into them. And on the exhale, your belly collapses down as the legs come in closer. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the nose, narrowing your throat passage, breathing in and out. You want to make sure you're not clenching the throat muscles. It's just a very soft narrowing of the throat passage. You can read more about Ujjayi breath or contact Yvette. So now we're going to take the hands to the knees and begin to circle the knees out away from each other and then back together. And then out and away and back together, just slowly starting to open up the hips, moving the synovial fluid around in the hip socket and reversing the direction. Easy movement, following your breath. And taking the legs all the way up to the ceiling, flexing your feet, feeling the backs of the legs open up. You can take your arms back behind you. Deep breaths, pointing and flexing your feet, and then bringing the knees back down into the chest. Taking the arms out at shoulder height, take a full breath in. Exhale as you allow your legs to slowly fall over to the right side, maybe looking toward your left arm. Deep breaths into the left side of your rib cage. On your exhale, pull the knees up back into the chest as you arrive on your back. Full breath in, exhale, legs come down to the opposite side. So your shoulders stay really heavy here, and maybe you're looking towards your right hand. Deep breaths into the right side of your rib cage. So the Tridosha is a wonderful balance of all of the elements: earth, water, fire, air, and space. And coming out of your twist, coming to your hands and knees and using a blanket maybe to support your knees, and then sitting back into child's pose. It's okay if the buttocks doesn't come down toward and touch the heels, just as long as you're sitting your hips back as far as you can. And you're resting maybe your forehead on the floor. You can stack your arms and rest your forehead on your arms, and just taking a moment here to still connect with your breath, still bring your focus and attention inside your body. This yoga practice, any yoga practice, should really encourage you to go inward. So I'm walking the hands over to the right side and sitting my hips back, getting a nice stretch on the side of my body, and then walking through center and over to the other side. Still listening to the sound of your Ujjayi breath. Slowly climbing yourself up to hands and knees, and we're going to move through some rounding and arching cat stretch. Exhale as you curl the tailbone down, sitting back into a child's pose, and then taking the forearms down, roll the weight through the hands and arms as you push yourself up and arch the back. Exhale, sitting back, rounding, letting your head fall down, and then rolling the weight forward and pushing yourself up. And this is a great way to lubricate your spine. Really make the movement articulate through every single vertebra. Rounding, maybe not arching as much as you could. You don't want to compress the back. And then I'm rocking my hips over to the left side and turning to look back at them. And then coming back to center, and then rocking my hips over to the right side and turning to look back at the hips. Just kind of getting a little stretch on both the right and the left sides of my waist. And then curling the toes under, pushing the weight back so that I can stretch the bottoms of my feet. So you can keep your blanket there or remove it. Stepping one leg back, curling the toes under, reaching the heel of that foot back behind you. And then switching sides when you're ready, lengthening your spine. Crown of the head reaches forward as your heel and your tailbone reach back behind you. And then when you're ready, walking your hands to your feet. And maybe just taking a moment here to fold. You can take hold of your elbows with opposite hands. Maybe the knees are bent again so that your spine lengthens and you're folding from your hip crease. So important. Shaking the head yes and no, just a reminder to release your cervical spine. Maybe rocking and then taking the hands down. Hands to the hips, roll the shoulders back, come all the way up with a really long spine. And pausing here in mountain pose. If you haven't already, take a moment to set an intention for your practice. What do you need? Inhaling the arms all the way up, interlacing the last three fingers, and on the exhale, leaning up and over to the right side so that the entire left side of your body stretches. Inhale, exhale over to the other side. Inhaling all the way up. Exhale, bring the arms down. Take a wide stance across your mat. Spin the right foot out to face the front of your mat. And just take a few moments here as you're in this wide stance, preparing your legs for triangle pose. Your back foot is rotated out about 45 degrees. And this is a great pose. We're moving into triangle, so this is a great pose to use with a block. If you can't get your hand all the way down to the floor, or even a chair behind you would be a great tool. And so you're reaching and extending the arms and the upper body out, and then letting the hand rest on either the block or the floor or the chair, and then taking that arm either straight up or take it up and over your head. You can look up or look down and slowly come on out. This is another variation, hand at the hip crease, so you don't have to take the hand all the way down to the floor at all. You can put a little bend in your front knee. I'm just showing a couple different variations. And then slowly coming out, turning your foot to face the wide angle of the mat and completely folding forward in this wide angle fold. Hands to the floor, hands to the blocks. Hands to the hips, roll the shoulders back, come all the way up. And then when you're ready, switch sides, turn that left foot to face the short end of your mat. Back foot is out about 45 degrees. And then preparing your hips. Inhale the arms all the way up, gazing past your left fingertips. Exhale, lean, 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 lean. And then when you can't lean anymore, take the hand down on the block, the chair. If you rest your hand on your leg, that's fine. Just make sure you're not pushing your knee back. So you can turn to look up toward that underneath the arm. Again, I'm going to show the variation with the hand at the hip crease. Strong core helps to hold you up. And slowly coming out and folding back forward. Hands are going to rest behind the back of my head lightly, clasping the hands, and then I'm pointing the elbows toward that back wall that I'm looking at. And slowly starting to heel toe your feet a little closer, hands to the hips, roll the shoulders back, come all the way up to standing. Take a moment here to either feet together, legs together, or feet hip width distance apart, and then reaching the arms up and out at an angle. And feeling that lift in your heart. Your feet are rooted down and the rest of the body reaches up. Or should I say from the hips down, rooting down, and then from the hips up, climbing up. Exhale the hands down to the heart. Pausing here and breathing. So legs out in front of you, pulling the flesh of your buttocks back behind you, crossing the right leg over the left leg. And you can extend that left leg or tuck it back behind you, but not sitting on it. Both of your hips should feel really even. Right hand right behind you, left hand on the right knee. Inhale, straight up tall. Exhale, twisting to the right. Twisting from the belly. And try not to muscle yourself into this twist. It's an easy twist. And you're still breathing here. Slowly exhale as you come out and then move to the other side. Slowly release. Cross the left leg over the right. Either the right leg extends out or you tuck that foot back behind you, but you're not sitting on it. So your hips are really, really even here. Left fingertips behind you. Sit up tall. Right hand on your knee. Deep breath in. Exhale, twisting to the left. And you really want to make sure that you don't round your back here. You're sitting up tall. The heart is lifted. Shoulders are dropping down. Letting your belly rise and fall with each breath. Exhale, come out for a short counter twist. And then back to center. Uncross the legs. Bring the soles of the feet together to touch. And your feet can be close, or you can take them a little further away in front of you. And fold forward with a long spine. Let the head go. Folding into yourself. Try not to let the heart collapse. There's a natural rounding in the back, but not excessive. And slowly come all the way up. Use your hands to close the knees. I'm going to prepare to get upside down. So if you have a wall, you can use that. You can have your legs on a chair. You can have the legs up the back of your couch. Anything. And if you do have your legs up the wall or up back of the couch, anything, you want to make sure that the backs of the legs and the buttocks are actually touching whatever it is that you have the legs up against. And the palms face up to the ceiling so that the shoulders externally rotate open. And you're still using your Ujjayi breath. If you'd like to open up the legs into a wide straddle, you can do that too, opening the inner thighs. Maybe taking the arms back behind you so that you can even more open up those shoulders. Open your chest, get some deep breaths into your heart. Use your hands to support your legs if you'd like. Slowly begin to bring the legs together, and then let the feet walk down the wall. Bend the knees into the chest, wrap your arms around your legs, giving yourself a big hug. Roll onto your side. So this sequence is really just meant to take some time out of your busy life to be with yourself. This isn't to take the place of your exercise practice at all. And now we're going to move into a back bend heart opener. So I rolled a blanket and I'm going to lay down my back against that blanket. My hips are on the floor, and then I have a blanket underneath my head to support it. So I'm allowing my chest to open up. The soles of the feet can be together to touch and the knees open out, or you can straighten your legs out in front of you, palms face up to the ceiling. You want as much as possible for your head to be in alignment with the rest of the spine. Releasing your Ujjayi breath here. So take a deep breath in through your nose, exhale through your mouth, a long exhale. And then close your mouth and return back to your natural breath. So there's, here in Shavasana, which is our final pose, there's no effort. There's a letting go, a surrender. And that means even with the breath just happens on its own automatically. Letting go of your practice. So the best time to practice yoga is the morning, but if you have a hard time falling asleep at night, maybe do this before bed. So begin to lengthen your breath and reach your arms back behind you. Give yourself a stretch. Roll to the side to remove that folded blanket. So you're laying flat on your back, and then pull the knees into your chest, rocking. Circling the knees, massaging your low back and sacrum on the mat, and then moving in the opposite direction. Roll onto your right side and pause there for a few breaths. And then begin to climb yourself up. Sitting in a comfortable cross-leg position. Sitting up nice and tall. Letting your head rock slowly from side to side. And then bringing your head back to its neutral position. Sealing in your practice. Thanking yourself. Being so grateful for this time that you had with you. Namaste.